and welcome to another episode of Baseball Night. I'm your host, Tom Brown, joined as always by my brother, Jack. Jack, I am sorry to have dragged you away from MLB The Show 25. I know that first week is just, it's a lot. You're figuring out the new features, you're checking out the new legends. Welcome back, Ted Williams. Very excited about that. Manny, Veritek. This is just like it's a 2000s Red Sox nerds dream.
Sure is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Manny's the first inning. Manny's the first inning boss.
oh
So
yes, Red Sox
yeah,
Manny. I'm hoping
exactly.
it's not
hmm
like
That's
it's
right.
not.
2007 playoff Manny.
Oh my! Is the card him holding his hands up, walk off against the Angels?
Nah, it's mid swing, but it's a good
Oh,
one.
what a swing! Best,
Yep.
prettiest right-handed swing Kevin Millar's ever seen. And then you think about it, and you're like, sure.
Yeah.
Me, Manny has disappeared into the ether, and it's a shame. It's not right.
He was big. He was you could see Manny during the 2004 stuff that they did last year during the season. Um, and him being kind of featured, but yeah, I again he was right up there with Nomar with one of the first to feel the FSG sting
Hmm.
of we don't want you anymore, so we're gonna make it seem like you're the bad guy on your way
Yeah.
out of town. Really rinse and repeat. And I know we're gonna touch on it in a second, but Rafi Devers saved himself from that treatment
Yeah.
just yesterday.
Yeah. But they at the same time could, who knows, they could pile it on that in June when he's getting restless. But we'll get there. Let's start on a negative note. Lucas Giolito is starting the season on the IL with a hamstring strain. He says he's asymptomatic, but they're going to take it slow. My question here is, I'm not a doctor. Um, some chemistry grades in high school ruled that out real fast. My thing is, we're still in spring training. Are they worried that they're going to shut him down from actual live pitching, so therefore his arm won't be built up? There's there's still 2 weeks of spring training here for normal teams. Couldn't he take like 5 days off and get back into a bullpen sesh and see how he's doing?
Maybe it's an overly cautious thing. Maybe they are pushing a roster decision to further on down the road. Um, I'm not sure. I agree. I think the timetable's a little weird, and then hearing Giolito's comments where he's like, I don't feel anything." So I'm not sure. I don't want him to start on the IL, and it's in a very rare, like, I never remembered a coach doing this or a manager doing this where they announced their fifth starter before they announced their first starter. So, yeah, they announced Lito would be ready for Baltimore, which is great. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case now, but I don't know. They signed him to be the guy to eat 200 innings a year, and obviously
Yeah.
Tommy John last year, and now a hamstring. It doesn't seem like this is the bulldog that you signed.
Yeah, it looks like him and Bayo are just slated to be back with the team in the middle of April. So it's just kind of like what we talked about last week with Bayo. Precautionary, better to miss the first two starts than a chunk of time. So that's all right. We can just discuss what you alluded to earlier with Rafael Devers. He came out and said he's ready to do whatever the team needs. He's okay being a DH. And I believe you said this in the text. It's just a great win for Alex Cora as a player's manager
Mhm.
and being able to handle dudes in the locker room. And he came out and said Duran, Devers, Bregman, Casas is the first four, and I like that 1 through 4.
Yeah.
And then I guess
Yeah.
story five is what you said.
Sure. For as much as he's going to be out there.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, he's already
I
dealing
hope
with a
it's the whole
back.
season. Yeah, exactly. Well, he's playing the interest squad today, so he's fine. Um, but yeah, I listen, there's a lot to like about their lineup, especially those first four guys. Um, give Casas protection, protect Devers and Casas with each other. You add Bregman to the mix, who throws a right-handed bat in that mix. Um, it's good. That's a good starting four to start every day with. Is it going to be every day? Gosh, I hope so. That's the deal he made with Duran last year. You're going to play every day. And Duran rose to that challenge in the biggest way to meet that. So get him out there every day. Let those four play 150 to 160 games. You know, now with this news that he's going to DH, Rafi Devers should be in there for 650, 700 bats this year, barring any injury or anything like that. I mean, he needs to be out there every day.
Right. And maybe he will because his whole stance when he was rejecting the thought of being a DH was he likes to help the team if he's having a bad day at the plate, which is what a lot of players say when they go out in the field. But now you can do that by not missing games as long as you stay healthy.
Yeah. And that part of the field, I mean, when Bregman was signed, we broke down that since 2018, when he took over the third base job, he's led the American League in errors every single season. So I understand the thought and I love it, but at the same time, just what he doesn't practice what he preaches in that regard. And I know he tries. He had his best
Sure.
defensive season last year, but I mean he's one of the best hitters in the American League. And if he focuses solely on that, I think he's going to be a monster, especially with all the protection he now has around him in the lineup, which
And
really from hasn't really been the case since like maybe 2019, because in 2018 he was hitting pretty far down the lineup. He wasn't in that World Series like killer top five. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I mean,
2019,
he may have
I
never
mean,
had he may have
yeah,
never had this
well,
level of protection.
19, again, he was still probably not in the top third of the order, top half even, because that Mookie was a GD MVP candidate again. Um, that was Bogart's absolute, without a doubt, best offensive year. And then JD Martinez was still awesome. JD Martinez. It's mind-boggling that that team didn't make the playoffs. It's insane.
Yeah.
So, uh, another we'll switch gears here. That was a medium good news thing. We're going to see how it plays out with the rest of the season. Um,
I would say that's full good news as
yeah,
it
true,
stands
not
today.
right. He still hasn't played in a game, which now doesn't really matter. I mean, there's no difference facing the Rays double A guy compared. It's actually better. He had a homer off Walker Bueller in an inter squad game yesterday. So that
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me because he's not playing the field. So he'll probably get in there, maybe get him in the two slot if the other team has like, I don't know, if the Rays have one of their better pitchers going like Shane Baz, if he's healthy.
Get
I
him in
don't
the
know
two
who's
spot
healthy
and
on.
just get him at bats. Get him the most at bats you can. Put him in the top three
Yeah,
orders in the lineup just to get him as many bats as you can from here to the start of the season. And then
right.
the
And
season starts.
yeah.
He's gonna play.
Yeah.
He's gonna be ready.
Uh in absolutely fantastic news yesterday, Anthony Campbell and Marcelo Mayer all hit home runs in their game against the Rays. Was it a prospect game? What was that? It was a
Oh, they call
different
it the
game because
spring showcase on MLB
oh, is that
Network.
spring
They
breakout
have
thing? Red
yeah,
Sox
breakout.
prospects
That's what it
versus
is. Yeah.
oh, okay, that's what oh God, I didn't I was looking at the clips and now that I see it, I was like, oh shit, that was on MLB Network. And I did nothing last night. I would have watched it. Damn it. I
That's why I texted you as soon as Mayer hit. They went back to back. I was like, oh
and
my
then
gosh.
Anthony hit one to Miami. He absolutely crushed it, which is to
So
me, it's a great sign when you're playing guys on your level and you're dominating them. I love to see that. That means you're ready for the next level. So that to me is just like I'm a break camp with Anthony thing. I don't think they will. Although Abreu's hurt and Yoshida's hurt,
Willier is
so maybe they
starting
will.
on the back. So I will say, as I watched that game, uh, two things. I like Marcelo Mayer. I think he's going to be a very, very good prospect and hopefully a very good major leaguer. Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell jump off of your screen. They literally jump off of your screen when they're batting. You know when they're coming up in the order. Uh, um, this is going to be a damn near uh, incendiary statement. And I know it's
Okay.
the comp has been made. Christian Campbell taking that ball out to where he took it out, just screams Mookie Betts level hand control. His approach at the plate reminds me of Mookie Betts. Uh, again, I didn't think a guy that young. Granted, he blew up last year and won the best hitting prospect in all of the minors.
Yeah.
To take that pitch out where he took it out. I remember the second in 2016 where I knew Mookie Betts was for real is in the top of the ninth inning, and he turned around 100 mile an hour fastball to like dead center field, and he knew it. And I'm just like, oh my. And it wasn't that far yet, but when he hit that homer yesterday, I thought to myself, oh wow, that is a good piece of hitting from a good young hitter. And I couldn't be more excited. And the other part is Roman Anthony has a slugger's swing, like a
Hmm.
35 home run swing. And that is incredible for a 20-year-old. I don't think he's going to hit 35 homers this year, but man, it's
No,
there.
rookie, but
You can
yeah.
see it.
Uh there was an article. Roman Anthony hit 3 grand slams in one game when he was 13. So I was like, well, I'll read this because this is fun. It was at Cooperstown Dreams Park, Jack, and I know a guy that's hit multiple
Oh
homers at
boy.
Cooperstown Dreams Park. Uh
Dean Diamantopoulos.
no, oh yeah, I did. Um, wow, how the fuck did you remember that name?
I don't know. I was
Jesus
surprised when it
Christ.
popped in.
He wasn't even a West Boylston kid. He was a Shrewsbury kid. We met
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, but
This has got a super name.
yes, he does. What was it? So the article was cool. This the coach of the other team, the kid, the poor 13-year-old pitcher, was like, "I'm not pitching to him." He actually called his coach out and was like, "He has hit 2 grand slams and has the bases loaded again." And the coach of the pitcher talked to Roman Anthony's coach and said, "No, we're gonna do it. Would be a really cool moment for this kid if he hits 3 grand slams in a game." They pitched to him and he hit his third grand slam. So I don't know if he left a ball there. You can leave a ball for the American Youth Baseball Hall of Fame. And, Roman Anthony and I might both have home run balls there. But it was a cool story. And then there was another funny one Jen McCaffrey had that Walker Bueller told Anthony and I think Mayer that they had to go get coffees for everyone. And they had
Yeah.
76 coffees in their car and they were driving with their flashers on. Just it's good rookie stuff and it shows like a team that likes each other, which is just great.
Yeah, and they're all coming up at the same time, which I think builds a camaraderie that really can't be replicated anywhere else. And like I said, it was very clear who MLB Network was trying to showcase yesterday, and to have them step up in that way is just super exciting. I understand it's March 14th,
Yeah.
but I also understand that the hype may be real. especially around Campbell and Anthony, because, like I said, they jumped off the screen when they're in the batter's box. And the home run Roman Anthony hit yesterday was a bullet that went 111 off the bat. At
Yeah.
20 years old, he's turning around major league pitchers at 111 miles an hour.
Yeah, I went to um Fisher Cats Sea Dogs game 2 years ago, I think. And the first thing it cost like a, a nickel, but I sat right as close to the home plate as I could, which was easy to get the tickets like 2 days before. It was awesome. I couldn't believe how big Marcelo Mayer was. He's a giant
He's
dude,
huge.
which maybe these are just some fluky things that plagued him these last 2 years because people are saying like he's a dog out there. He's super competitive, super good, super tough. It's just he's had these like shitty injuries that have ended the season. So you hope that's just like two or three fluke things, and this will be the beginning of the future. Because don't forget, Casas is best friends with these guys because they're the same age. Just Casas has been in the majors for 3 years. So yeah, it all looks good. We can, and a good segue here is things have opened up, and this is another thing that happens to me every mid March. Things have opened up here where now I'm like, there's a path for the Red Sox to have a very successful season because the
Yeah.
American League is, I know these
Man.
are just projections, but there are 11 teams in the American League projected between 86 and 81 wins on the top end of the American League, leaving four teams that are bad, bad. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to preview the American League. So right now, we'll just start at the bottom. Absolutely nothing to say. Chicago White Sox will lose 100 games again.
Oh, 1 and 121 was their record last year.
Could you repeat
And
that?
I have to. 41 and 121. Um, and
Negative
again,
306 run differential.
Tom and I sometimes can be hyperbolic on this show. It is not
I never have been.
hyperbole to say that that was the worst major league team and season that has ever existed because it was statistically the worst major league season that has ever existed. And what the only preview, it's not even a preview, it's a look back. Um, Halfway through the season, Miguel Vargas was traded from the
Oh,
Los Angeles Dodgers to the Chicago White
guy.
Sox. And the White Sox were in the middle of their historic 20 something game slide or however long it was. And there's just a shot after a game of Miguel Vargas sitting on the top step of the dugout in Oakland, looking, I guess, as far inside as he could possibly look, thinking, what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
I'm glad he got a full playoff share from the Dodgers. That was the least they could have done.
Yeah.
But imagine your whole world getting turned up like that. Um, the best thing the White Sox did all last year was trade Garrett Crochet to the Red Sox. That is that is my
Well,
only
yeah.
note on the
I
upcoming White
wonder
Sox season.
If Kyle Teal plays a little bit this season, that's exciting. But also, what's the point to honestly bring him up halfway through the year? I guess you keep that extra year service time, but I wouldn't start this. He's probably the best player on their roster, and I wouldn't start the season with him. Um,
Yeah, I've actually I went out of my way to look for Kyle Teal updates after like the buzz around the big three because, before Campbell came bursting onto the scene last year, Kyle Teal was the third in that big three. So I didn't see much. I just don't know if there's any excitement around White Sox baseball this season. I don't know why there would be. Um,
right. Yeah.
but yeah, I think we've spent way too much time on it. We've spent more time than they deserve.
All right. Next lowest team, with projected to go 76 and 86, Mike Trout. Um, I think we're aligned here, per usual. Just be healthy. I I saw, it really hit me because it's the total truth and it's a shame it went this way. The Ringer did the top 100 sports moments of the first 25 years of this century, and one of them was Trout versus Ohtani. And Ben Lindbergh wrote Mike Trout, and then in parentheses, the best young player ever. And I was like, oh man, it's probably true, but that's what he's gonna end. That's gonna be his legacy from from the time he was 19 to like 27, when you should be entering your prime. He was actually the best, and then he's just stopped.
I yeah, I mean at this point, I am all set with the hey, if Mike Trout played 162 games a year, he'd have 650 home runs. The fact is he didn't and he doesn't.
No, I get that. No,
Um
that's not what I'm
he's
saying.
just
I'm
an
just saying
he's an
it's like
aging he's an aging slugger at this point. No, but I'm saying I don't want to say I don't care. I hope he dominates, but at the same time, it's the same thing every year.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm
gotten
just
to
over
that
it.
point.
I'm over
And
it.
it's actually
I'm over
it's
the Mike
actually
Trout hype, and then just to see him hurt his legs and not play.
it's worse at this point, I think. It's actually worse than the Griffey stuff. Like Griffey got hurt in the
Yeah,
second half, but this is like now it's Griffey would still pump out a 30 homer season and be like, "Oh, but he still missed this many games." Now Trout is like, are you going to get to June? And it's a bummer. And other than that, there's nothing. They have a closer that throws 110, 105 and Ben Joyce, but he's not even slotted to be their closer. So I don't, I don't know what the point of this team is.
yeah, I don't either. Artie Moreno, I think, should look to divest.
Yeah, that's two owners, two teams that their owners should probably think about a different, you know, just sell the team and make $5 billion and then move on with your life. All right, another owner that should sell the team and probably will after they're established in Las Vegas. The Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics, the
Just
Athletics.
the Athletics. Just the Athletics. Um, Terrific job by announcing on Blue Sky yesterday, outlining John Miller's frustration. They categorized it as the four stages of grief, with him calling the Athletics Oakland, and eventually he just settled on oh gosh, I think I can't remember what he said, like the New Republic of Oakland or something like that. Um, but anyways, it was I like Lawrence Butler a lot.
Hmm.
They gave him a big extension. It's still not a team that's going to spend any money. I can't believe they're projected to get more wins. Well, they're projected for the same amount of wins as
Same,
the
yeah.
Angels. Um, but
They have,
yeah,
I think they have better players than the Angels.
yeah, that's true. Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, both got extensions in the offseason. I really like Larry Butler. But yeah, I
Langoliers.
sure.
I mean, for a
Jack,
catcher, he
who's
had a 114 WRC plus. Jack Wilson,
Jacob Wilson?
Jacob.
Jacob
Yeah,
Wilson. Yeah,
Jack
Jack
Wilson was
Wilson's good.
a pirate a while ago.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
But this is his son. But yeah. Um, so
Shut
yeah, I
up.
mean, I think he was an athletic too. Did you not know
This
that?
is actually Jack Wilson's son.
Yes.
Jack Wilson that like played baseball when I was in fucking eighth grade.
Yeah, bud.
Whoa, baby.
Breaking news here on the podcast, Tom, who apparently
Wait,
didn't pay attention at all during last year's draft.
how old? Jack Wilson's 77. No, born in 77. He's
No,
47.
no, he's not.
No, he's 47. Jesus, man. Having kids young, crazy thing. Yeah, I think
Babies
they're
be
better
having
than the
babies.
Angels.
Yeah, sure. I
Um,
can see that too.
so, but again, move on because but it could be an absolute dumpster fire because they're playing in a AAA stadium in Sacramento. So who knows?
Yeah, revenue probably
Uh,
won't be that high.
no. And then the next lowest team, the Guardians, which I'm not
Mason Miller
buying
too.
it.
I do like Mason Miller.
Mason Miller, yeah, obviously.
I'm
Um,
not buying that the Guardians are this low. It's
they
crazy to
did
me. I,
they did trade
Josh Naylor.
Josh Naylor, but they I don't know. I it's just okay, count him out again and watch him be good.
Yeah, that's why I think with the uh late season surge of the Tigers, everybody kind of forgets the steady hand that the Guardians have. But I mean, it's not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, and I think we have our favorite to win the MVP in Jose Ramirez. Uh, and Stephen Kwan's still a hell of a hitter. I mean, you still have um Bieber coming back. There's Tanner Bybee. Clase is the best closer in baseball, probably. Like, I don't get why they're projected so low.
Best pitcher ever if you ask his former catcher, which is a statement.
Hmm.
Who was that? Who didn't Austin? Oh, current Austin Hedges. You pointed out last year called Clase the best pitcher ever, and that that like declaring stuff like that just has to stop because he comes in with leads for 1 inning. He's not going to throw a 102 cutter for 7 innings, 6 innings. So just a little too much. But yeah, I they have, like you mentioned, a perennial MVP candidate that is going to be a Hall of Famer. It's just they have turns out they have a really good coach. They lost a Hall of Fame coach and just replaced him with a really good coach, and they just kind of figure it out. Um, Now the rest of the division has improved, so maybe that goes into the projections. But yeah, I don't know.
The White Sox
I
have not.
The White Sox have not, but the other teams. So now it gets weird because now the next team is the Royals, who
Hmm.
made the playoffs as a wild card last year. They have a stud that's going to be a perennial MVP candidate who is just got hit on the wrist, Bobby Witt Jr., but he's okay, thankfully.
Okay, everything's okay. It's okay.
They have Cole Reagans who could take another leap. He pitched 186 innings last year, which you'll love to see. Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha. They got rid of Brady Singer, who for me was just good job by you getting rid of him. I just never saw it.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, it's tough for pitching prospects. Like and I
yeah,
mean,
and guys that
they still
top
got
out at like
Sally
94.
Perez here.
Yeah, the Pasquatch, which is the best nickname in baseball.
Hmm.
Um, it's this
I mean,
now.
my feelings on the Royals here. I have purchased tickets to go watch Reagan's pitch and Bobby Witt play baseball in the past. It was rewarded with just an absolute dominant game by Cole Reagans. Bobby Witt homered over the Green Monster. So, really a great game for me to go to. But at the same time, I'm so excited to watch this team. Again, I think we talk about MLB at bat teams all the time. This is most certainly an MLB at bat team. Um, just I can't wait to see him get going. I texted you. I saw Saris, Skeet, Bobby Witt just got hit on the forearm and immediately walked off the field. I texted you. You responded correctly. We don't have to say what you said, but
I
uh,
I was looking
and
for the GIF that was like, you don't tell me that. Don't tell me. Just like any movie where someone has a
yeah.
death. It's like, don't tell me that.
Then 2 hours later, it was reported that there were no fractures for Bobby Witt Jr., who um, I think we're going to get to say he's even going to be better. Obviously, you get better as you go through your mid 20s, but he got the MLB The Show 25 cover snub. So I wonder if that's going to be like you picked two other shortstops ahead of me to be on the cover of the baseball game,
Yeah.
which again he could take umbrage with, and I think he would have a good point.
Bobby Witt. Um, has gone 20-20 every year and then 30-30 the last 2 years. He had a 10 WAR season, Fangraphs. He batted 332, 389, 588. Come on. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? This is
Yeah.
insane. His
See,
WRC
this
plus
is
was 168. He is so fucking good at baseball.
I don't understand how you can hit 332 and then Fangraphs is projecting you to go to fall 35 points or 40
Yeah,
points to 292.
it's
I that's such a stark drop off.
yeah, I'd like
Like
to see
in his
the
age
projections.
25 season,
Yeah. Just
I
but
just
with
don't know about that. But please stay healthy. Just give us another healthy season.
well, I
He
was
played
just
in
gonna say this to you.
161 games yesterday.
You mean
Last year,
last year?
not yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah, it's exactly kind of like the what we were just talking about with Trout, where he's had 632, 694, 709 plate appearances. That's just what the people want. Like, give me that many games, that many plate appearances, and you're gonna see an absolute star because he already is, and he's, as you mentioned, just going into his age 25 season, which is nuts. He doesn't turn 25
Yep.
until June. All right. So I think the Royals, it's so hard to say because all these teams are just in the middle. The next team above them in wins is the Tigers, who went on a miracle run last year to the playoffs. And I I don't know. Maybe see something like the Tigers to me is they got really hot at the end of the year, and maybe that was just a little fluky.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they have the AL Cy Young winner, which
Yeah.
is what you want.
He's a very good pitcher.
You
I
need
mean,
some. Go ahead.
I'll just to say I mean, they got some young horses that were fun to watch play baseball last year. I think, um, you got a guy like Spencer Torkelson, I think is ready to take a step forward. He's kind of been at the low 200 Mendoza line. He's had a
Hmm.
really good spring, and I've heard people talk about that he's ready to take the next step forward. I mean, he's a 1-1 guy. Um, I love Riley Green, Tom.
Hmm.
Just
Yep.
a gritty ass player that I really like.
130 WRC plus.
Parker Meadows is a hell of a center fielder. And then you got Kerry Carpenter, Matt Vierling. Who's the other guy? Jace Jung. Josh is not so much there. Um, and then uh, they got Colt Keith was the other guy I was thinking of, who again kind of took over for Torkelson at first.
Torkelson missed a
So
bunch of games last year, so.
yeah, and then like you said, every fifth day you have to go against the American League Triple Crown winner in Tarek Skubal,
Hmm.
which is no easy feat. I got Jack Flats there too. So again, I think
Yeah,
they are poised to make another run. I'd like to see them start hotter because I feel like if they start hot, then they have the chance to like really pick it up in the second half and carry them through to the division. Because I think, I mean, we'll get into them in a second. I think there might be a little bit more here than is on the Twins, who are projected to win.
yeah. So the the thing for the Tigers here is they have Scooble and Flaherty. Flaherty is kind of you know what you're gonna get. It'll be fine. But
Yep.
Reese Olson, Casey Mize, and Jackson Jobe have to kind of make some sort of leap. I mean, you took Jobe
Yeah.
third overall now 4 years ago, actually one spot ahead of Marcelo Mayer. And Tigers need a shortstop, but it's you need something
Not
from
Javi
them.
Baez.
Nope. Jackson Jobe, they brought him up last year, um, and he came just out of the pen. Throws
Yeah.
hard. He looks good. It's just, are you, what are you getting in his actual like rookie season as a starter? Um, which is something. And then you have your like Casey Mize. He was a high draft pick to be a starter. He was number one overall in 2018. Can't get higher than that. And he is a career, where is it? 4.36 ERA, only 6.99 career strikeouts per nine. So you want him to take some sort of leap. He's 27. Otherwise, I don't know. You're gonna try and
Yeah.
they won a lot of like close cardiac games, like they were being called the cardiac cats, I think. So another team, these central teams, they sent three teams to the playoffs last year, and at this in this year you could see him send one,
Yeah.
which brings us to the Twins, who are projected just one game higher than those two with 83 wins. And as we talked about
So
last
I was
year,
wrong.
okay,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I was just straight up wrong with saying that the Tigers have more than the Twins. That's just not the case. Um, the Twins are better at almost every position. Um, Jeffers, Ty France, Brooks Lee, Carlos Correa, Royce Lewis, Larnach, Buxton, and Wallner. Um, that's a better lineup than the
But
Tigers. So
my question to you is how many at bats or plate appearances are you guaranteed to get out of Correa, Lewis, and Buxton?
very good point. I mean, last year, oh, is that the projection or last year? Yeah, that's not the projection. All right. I was gonna say Royce Lewis is projected for 518 at bats, and I was like, he certainly didn't have that last year. He maybe has just over that for his career. Um, but listen, he is the human embodiment of the Matt Christopher book, the kid who only hit home runs, and I think when he's out there, he's one of the best players on the field. I also think that about Byron Buxton, or have in the past. There might be a little bit of a regression there, but I like this team a lot. 82 wins. It's so strange. Again, I know we're dealing with projections, which isn't an exact science, but just to clump everybody up kind of shows how much parity there is in the majors. But I think 82 wins might be a little low. They have a really good top three of their rotation in Pablo Lopez, Bailey Ober, and Joe Ryan. And then flamethrower at the end of the bullpen and Johan Duran.
Yeah, it's just a team that you're going to look up. They're going to be around 500 competing for the division. You're just going to be like, take Duran out of it. Who is like a no doubt all star on the team? I mean, you would say Lewis or Buxton or Correa, but they'd get hurt a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe Pablo Lopez, I would say, is pretty slam dunk. He'll probably be there. Um, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, it's
At
just,
one
but
point
they
last
do it.
year,
They win. They win.
yeah, at one point last year, Ryan Jeffers, their catcher, was the best, one of the best hitters in the entire major leagues. He definitely
Yeah.
fell off, but I feel like he could have another good year.
Yeah, they
But yeah, I mean,
went. Now the thing for the Guardians, Tigers, Royals, and Twins is each of them get 15 games against the White Sox.
that's true.
It's 15 or
Um,
14, whatever it is.
Now that we've covered them, I'd probably say that the Twins are probably the favorite to win the division, but I would say that the Royals have a better shot than the Tigers.
Okay. Well, don't go jumping
I
next
will
week's
take
podcast.
I will take a beautiful midsummer afternoon Cole Reagans versus Tarek Skubal game though.
Oh, sure. One of my favorite things is the Tigers always play getaway days
Yep.
at noon. So they're always on midweek. It's nice. Um, that takes us to who is next in this projection? The
We got to go
Astros.
north of the border. No, you skipped one. We got to go north of the border first.
Oh, I mean, the Astros, Orioles, and Blue Jays are all at 83.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
so I'll just go Astros. They lost a lot.
Yep. It doesn't look like it's
They,
the same Astros. I th
no,
the biggest one is what we talked about last week in the NL review or preview is Kyle Tucker's going to be a huge loss for them.
yeah.
Like even more so than Bregman.
Yeah, so they traded away Kyle Tucker, as Jack mentioned, and they are Verlander's not there anymore, although he wasn't great by any means. They added Christian Walker.
Sure.
They had a hole at first base. Who'd
Yep.
they get in the
That's a
Tucker
good ad.
trade? Who'd they get? Isaac Paredes. That's who the Tucker trade was based around
Yeah.
for them. Hayden
I
Wesneski.
suck.
Huh? Jack?
Starter. Yeah.
What? Why'd you just yell, I suck?
I
Are you playing the
suck. It's
show?
not Isaac. It's not
Oh.
Isaac. It's I suck Paredes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were double dipping and playing the show. Um,
My hands. I'm holding a microphone.
I don't know what you're doing here. Uh, but yeah, they other than that, like Cam Smith also. So, they got a bunch of young guys for one of the better hitters in baseball. You can't,
Still got
which is
Yordan Alvarez, who is super
yes.
intimidating.
We can't, yeah. So, and they have your boy Jose Altuve, who I
You know,
really think will always just be your
he's going to
boy.
play mostly left field this year.
I
He's
saw that,
projected to play mostly left field.
which is, I don't,
Mauricio Dubon to take over second.
yeah.
Um, with I
Um,
suck Paredes. Well, Paredes will play third.
did we mention that they lost Alex Bregman? I don't think I did. I don't know if you did, but they did. They lost.
But I tell you what, I do like the fact that they replaced Bregman with Christian Walker. Like that's a pretty savvy move, and I think Walker will have a good season there.
Oh, he's gonna love the Crawford boxes.
Yeah.
But you know, the Mariners didn't make one move. The Rangers, everyone is just like won this World Series 2 years ago. Huge disappointment last year, and now they're like, we think they'll just be back.
Yeah, well, they get pitching Mike Trout back.
That's
I think
true.
that's the reason for everybody's
Who?
projections being high on them.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I just again, when the top of your division is projected 84 wins for two teams and 83 wins for you, it's an absolute toss up. Every division is a toss up in the American League.
Yeah, in years past, in preview Astros, I always say that they are ready to win, or they're built to win. This might be the first year in some time that they're really not built for a deep postseason run. And I'm sure
Yeah,
Astros fans would go to fight me on that, but I mean, then again, you still get Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, and Ronel Blanco in the playoff. Ronel Blanco's not over OP, as my son would say, but
was that, can you
I
explain that
think
to
there's not enough
me?
there. OP is a gaming term for if a weapon or an item is overpowered.
Oh, wow. He's getting into these terms, only six. We didn't have terms like that.
So,
We were playing Mutant League football.
so Hall of Fame Pedro Martinez in last year's version of the show, OP.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Yeah. It's so hard to predict. Like if they won the division, I wouldn't be like, wow, that's weird. And I think they're hoping a lot from Hunter Brown. Framber Valdez is awesome, as you mentioned. Luis Garcia's good. He's a good pitcher. I still like him. He went 15-8, had a 3.72 ERA last year. So again, if Hunter Brown improves a little bit, there you go. You kind of have the recipe to take over the Rangers and Mariners. Um,
I don't know about all that, but I hear what you're saying. I don't know if I agree with any of it. I think
okay.
the Rangers and Mariners might be a little better now for the first time in some time.
So we'll go to another 83 win team, the Blue Jays, who are in turmoil because they just keep trying to get big time players to play for them and they won't.
Yeah. They did get,
They
I mean, adding Santander and Andres Jimenez, not bad moves. not bad.
No, no. Anthony Santander had a fantastic year last year. Uh, Miles Straw, they added him. He'll fight the crowd. They got Scherzer,
Mhm.
40-year-old Max Scherzer. Not quite the Otani or Soto level he used to be, but
Right.
um,
No, they have I mean Gossman, Berrios, Bassett, Scherzer is not terrible for 4 out of 5 pitchers.
yeah, depending on what you get out of what Scherzer is now. But um,
Yeah.
if you go around though,
I mean,
you got
go ahead.
Alejandro Kirk is good, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. very good, Jimenez good, Bichette could bounce back. You know, he had an off year last year, and that's what I think turns people off is he didn't play great last year, but he also could have just had a down year. Um,
Yeah, I mean it was a huge drop. I mean, he's a career
Huge
300
drop,
hitter and
but
he
he
went down
also
to 225.
he
He
only
also
played
didn't
81
play half
games,
his
so he's
games.
hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think if Bo bounces back, the team is a little better than,
Oh yeah, he's their
people
table
are.
setter for sure.
And you mentioned the pitchers. You have a really good one and two. And
Yeah.
then Springer's probably over the hill. Dalton Varsho is okay. You know, he's about league average. Um, he was a 3 WAR player, but WRC plus was 99. So that's exactly league average -1. I don't know. I think they can be more dangerous in by based on what they're offering or being in on a final contender for these huge um, free agents. They very well could be adding at the deadline if they're in it. I could totally see that. I don't know what their prospects look like or anything, but that's a possibility. Um, the the turd in the punch bowl here for this team is just overall Vladimir Guerrero Jr. What's he going to do? Um, is he going to resign or are they going to trade him? It'd be insane to trade him, or if he's just going to play it out and have a career year, the classic contract year, and try and get $500 million.
Um, yeah, that is a good question. He is only 25, so he's gonna get paid regardless.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
totally.
I don't necessarily think he just automatically slots into everybody's. I'm interested to see how this year goes. Like last year was his best year by a mile. I mean, granted, one year he hit. Oh, that's not true. He hit 311, 48
21.
homers, and 123. Yeah, 2021. Um, so I mean, you'd think that he would continue on the figuring it out. But who knows? Maybe he needs that Bo Bichette spark. But he did have a really good year hitting last year, so
Yeah,
he's going to fit in. He's going to be the topic of a lot of conversations, depending on record come July.
definitely. All right. Next up, we have the Mariners, who have been blasted all offseason for doing absolutely nothing. Like literally nothing.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, Dallas
but
Cowboys.
then,
Like
but at the,
that's what this reminds me of.
yeah,
Is like the we're good with what we have. And we
now,
skip the
when
Orioles.
you, well, oh, shit. Yeah, the Orioles. We'll do them after. It's one game.
Yeah.
But the, the Mariners, say what you want. They need to score runs. They have a superstar in center field. They added Randy Arozarena, who will be there the whole season this year. Luke Raley at first base and Cal Raleigh at behind the plate. Other than that, Crawford, Polanco, who's their DH is Mitch Haniger. They have guys who sound like they're going to hit home runs, but they're not going to hit for average, which is going to make it tough for them to
No.
score runs.
We said the
But
same thing about them last year. Go get somebody. Go get a Robin for Julio Rodriguez's Batman. Like it's not going to be like Cal Raleigh is fun and I like Cal Raleigh, but I mean, gives you great value for a catcher, but I mean, you need somebody else.
Now, last year they did go get a Rosarena at the trade deadline to try and do that. It just didn't work out as planned.
Sure.
But the thing with
Sure.
this team is they are in competition with the Dodgers as the best 1 through 5 starting pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers can really go 1 through 7, but yes, their 1 through 5
Yeah,
is damn near perfect. Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Bryce Miller, George Kirby, Brian Wu. Give me 30
and
starts. Just give me 30 starts from all five.
the craziest thing out of all that, the way you listed it, is Kirby might be the best one. And
Yeah,
in that list you had, he was fourth.
yeah.
So
That's just how it's listed as projections for innings pitched
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Fangraphs. But yeah,
Um, so yeah, they're a good team. All right, now we're gonna go to the Orioles, who, in my humble opinion, Jack, it really just seems like they're wasting these young players that are pre-arbitration, and it's so dumb.
yeah.
They have the best
I don't get
shortstop
the
in baseball.
strategy here.
Or, oh no,
Yeah,
second? Oh God, that's a good argument.
one of them. Yeah, that's
Witt
one of
or
them.
Gunner? Ooh, I love it. Probably
Yeah.
Witt. Um, and then Grayson Rodriguez is hurt. They let Corbin Burns go, which I don't think was ever really, you know, I don't think they were going to sign him. I think they kind of were like, let's get the ace for last year and see what we can do. Um,
Yeah. So Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton, Dean Creamer, Tomoyuki Sugano, and Grayson Rodriguez. That is a far cry from their starting five last year.
right. So Westberg, Gunnar Henderson, Rutschman, Kauser are all young, and who knows what's going to happen with Kierstead? Who knows what's going to happen with Jackson Holiday? But God, you got to help those young guys out, because if they blossom and they're 23 through 26 age seasons, they're dominating, but you're losing games 5-4. That's that's tough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't do much. Excited to watch him play baseball, though. I mean, like you said, all those guys that you outlined, really good future all-stars, if not already all-stars. And then the back end of the bullpen with Bautista and Sir
yeah,
Anthony Dominguez just throwing gas.
yeah, Bautista will be back this year. Next up is the Texas Rangers, who, as you mentioned, pitching Mike Trout. They're getting DeGrom back, who he said Passan had an article. He is going to try and scale back his elite, elite fastball. So in his first spring training game, he just sat 97. Um, listen, going around the horn, talking about the teams we have in the West, this should be the best team.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Yep. Yep. Yep.
um, they got Jake
They
Burger at
have
first
more
base,
young
which is
talent than I was gonna say. They have just as much good young talent as the Royals. It's just not as highly touted. Jonah
yeah,
Heim, Josh Jung, Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, like those guys are guys you can build around.
totally.
And
And they're pitching of Evaldi and DeGrom as 1-2. They're gonna have Kumar Rocker this year.
Jack Leiter,
Yeah. So
two very high draft picks.
it's there. My concern, again, like a lot of teams, is games played.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Jung has played 2 seasons and he's topped out at 122 games. Seager is Seager. Marcus Simeon's
Talk about a guy we
an
didn't even
Iron
talk
Man.
about for best shortstop, Corey Seager,
Right.
who when
Two-time
he's
World
right
Series
and when he's
MVP.
hot, he can absolutely be the best shortstop.
I love Evan Carter. I think he's awesome. I think he's going to be awesome. Um, his he had a bad year last year. He got hurt. So did he get hurt or did he get sent down? He was hitting 188. Maybe he got sent. No, there's no AAA stats, so Yeah, he just
Oh,
got
yeah,
hurt.
he had
So
played.
play, guys, just play, and they would probably win. And the biggest question mark on injuries is Jacob deGrom because when he
Sure.
plays, like Mike Trout, you fully healthy, fully skilled, those two guys from the 2010s, if they had a regular career, you could argue best ever. But they just
Yep.
had glimpses. And I know we got into a whole thing last year why I consider Trout automatic MVP or automatic Hall of Fame and not so much DeGrom, which was a great question by you. I was stumped. Um, it when
I
he's
mean, the biggest
pitching,
question, Tom. Yeah,
go
you're
ahead.
absolutely right. I mean, he's age 37. He's going into his age 37 season, and not since 2020, COVID year. But not since 2020 has he gone over 100 innings. 2020 was 68. His high in 21 was 92. But like at the time of the 92, he's got a 14.2 K per nine and a 1.08 ERA.
Yeah,
Like it's the same thing with Trout. They're healthy. It's You're watching a generational talent. But they can't stay healthy.
yeah. All right, and then I don't know. We don't. I don't think we have to talk about the Red Sox, but surprisingly, they're projected for 85 games to win 85 games. Which,
That's a good word to use. That's a good word to call it. It's surprising.
but now you look around the league. We just went through 13 other teams. We have one more who is definitely we're unsure of. Um,
And they got worse. They got
right.
worse. Well, they didn't get as worse as everyone thinks. Losing Soto was huge. But I mean, we'll just go into the
Yeah. So
Yankees,
the
I guess.
Yankees are projected for 86 wins after 94
The
last
highest
year.
in the
Jack,
American League. The highest in the American League.
yes. And Jack mentioned they obviously lost Juan Soto. They have now lost um, Giancarlo Stanton for the start of the season. Who knows how long? That big boy takes a while to heal up. And Garrett Cole for the season. He needs Tommy John
Yep.
surgery. He has already had it, I think. But they signed Paul Goldschmidt. They signed Cody Bellinger,
Max Fried. Max Fried was the
Max
big one.
Fried. Now, I sent you a video of John Boy, who's just a great baseball presence online, at Disney World finding out that Cole needs surgery, and it was a funny video. But in the video, he talks about there were whispers of this. That's why he opted in, and that's why they were aggressive and overpaid Freed. But now,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they have the best hitter in the American League, bar none.
Devin Williams too. Yeah.
No, he wasn't who I was thinking. I don't. I've never seen him hit. I was talking about Judge.
No, I know, but I was just as people they added. I know you were talking about Aaron Judge.
But
You
they
dick.
Goldschmidt and Bellinger are good.
Two former MVPs.
Yeah. They're going
Anthony
to
Volpe, Jason Yason Dominguez. Are they going to take the step forward? Because right now, the vaunted Yankees lineup without Stanton is just Judge and eight other guys.
a lot of four
Like
fingers being held up from the opposing dugout when
exactly,
Judge bats.
exactly. How in the world, if you're an opposing pitcher, are you going to let Aaron Judge beat you? There's no reason for it right now. Let Paul Goldschmidt or Cody Bellinger take you out. I mean, Yason Dominguez hasn't proved it yet. Granted, he was hurt. And Anthony Volpe really needs to make a case that he's not just a glove out there.
Mm, yeah. Uh, I just looking around like LeMahieu's hurt and he's not even projected to have like a lot of time. Jazz
Luis
Chisholm's
Heel
still
is
there.
out.
He's a second baseman. Yeah, Heel is out. He questionably won the Rookie of the Year last year. They brought in Carlos Carrasco, who's like dad's age.
Cookie. Yeah.
Um, but he beat cancer, and so I have nothing against him. It's just he's a Yankee now, so I have something
Yeah, of
against him.
course.
Stroman
Matt
wants to be
Reed is good.
traded.
Yeah.
I'm very upset Max Fried plays for this team because, like Juan Soto last year, it's a guy I really like, and it just makes it harder.
And for Red Sox emblem engagements, a very tough lefty.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
But I mean, listen, this is going to be this went from an easy lock to make the playoffs to, I mean, they could finish third in the AL East right now.
Again, I know we're somewhat beating a dead horse here, but do you trust Carlos Rodon to stay healthy?
Absolutely not. I don't
Like,
even trust Aaron Judge to do what he did last year. You can't count on him
mm,
to hit 60, 58 home runs every year. I
well,
mean,
other
I
than a
hope he
broken
continues his
toe,
dominance. He
two
did
years
play
ago he did
158
hit
games last year.
63. Yeah, that's the
Yeah, no,
difference.
I get it.
Tw 2021, 2022, and 2024 when he's played 148, 157, and 158 games. He's hit 58, 62, and 39 homers. Oh, and then
I
his
mean, he
rookie
had
year.
37 and 106 too.
Right.
So he could power the ball out for sure. But
Judge,
like we just said,
why are you
just
going to
pitch
let him?
around him.
Yeah, it
Just pitch around him.
might be a lot of first inning damage. But
Yeah.
okay, so we previewed everyone, Jack. Next, we're putting our nuts to the fire next week. We're making our predictions, and I am sitting here worried I'm going to pick the Red Sox.
Yeah. I don't think I'm worried about that. But
I don't
but
know. I need a week
if
to
the
play
Red
on it.
Sox look, they can make a run. It depends on their health. Like I don't know how much a healthy Trevor Story can give you because we've never seen it. But as long as he's out in the field, they are better than they were last year.
That's a fact. All right, Jack, you have some important stuff to do that doesn't just
I
include
gotta
playing
go.
MLB The Show, but I'll talk to you
Nope.
next week.